sometimes long sentences are given without the required verb that calls for an answer options with the required missing verb, right? For example, students, please pay attention, all of you, please pay attention. Very important rule. Look at this. Look at this sentence. What is the subject? The color purple. Right? What is the subject? The color purple, students. It is immediately followed by commas. I told you sometimes you would have the subject, then you would have commas, right? I told you this a while ago. So this portion is extra information. What is this portion? This portion is extra information. For example, I say, Mahatma Gandhi, comma, who was a truthful person, comma, was a great leader. Right? 1 second, students. One second, students. This has just got a little messy. 1 second. Look at this sentence, students. This is a typical type of sentence I'm talking about. You have the subject, right? You have the subject. It is immediately followed by commas, right? And then you have the verb. Your verb is here. Okay. So students, the portion that you see in between the commas, this is extra information. Right? This is extra information. So your verb cannot be here. You cannot place the verb here because this is extra information. The core sentence is this, before the comma and after the comma. So your verb should be either before the comma and after the comma, or after the comma, not in between. The rule is that even if, 1 second, students, just a second, students, just give me 1 moment. The rule is that even if you were to eliminate this part between, agar isko eliminate bhi kar de, even if you were to eliminate this part between, the sentence should still be grammatical and the sentence should still make sense, meaningful. So even if I were to remove this portion, it says Mahatma Gandhi was a great leader, correct, grammatically and meaningful. Right? So your verb can never be in between. Your verb can never be in between because if you eliminate that part, your sentence would be rendered ungrammatical. So you need the verb either before the comma or after the comma. Okay. Now look at this. The common type of errors that you will get. The color purple. Then this portion is in between the comma. So this is extra information. Published is not the verb. Published is not the verb for color purple, right? Because it is in between the commas. Then after comma, we have bringing. So ideally, this should be the verb for color purple, that color purple brought immense recognition or something. But the ing word, students, are not verbs. Please keep this in mind. The ing words are not verbs unless they are followed or accompanied, not followed, unless they are accompanied by a helping verb. For example, look at this sentence, students. I know there are a lot of rules, students. There are a lot of rules, one after the other. It might just leave you a little disoriented, but don't worry, you will get the recording. So even if you get something partially at the moment, that's okay. You can always refer to the recording. You can always watch the recording later, right? So, but then I don't have a choice because, I have a given agenda and I have limited classes to cover that. So I have to keep pace, right? Okay, and you don't have time either. So look at this, students. Look at the sentence. The boys playing in the park are shouting. Please pay attention. I'm telling you about this ing rule now. Why ing words are not verbs? Why ing words are not verbs? The boys playing in the park are shouting. Now here the verb. What is the action here? What action are the boys doing? Shouting. And is accompanied by a helping verb was, were, helping verbs. So this is my verb. But playing is also an ing word, but it's not the verb. It is not the verb because it is not accompanied by the helping verb are or was or were and am. Also, if you ask me what role does the word playing play in this sentence? It is describing the boys. It is not showing the action of the boys. It is describing the boys. If I ask you which boys are shouting, you would say the boys playing are shouting, right? What is the word in this sentence? An adjective, like a descriptor. And ing words that describe something. The ing words that describe something, they are not verbs. They are known as modifiers in English, students. Modifiers, they describe something. They are similar to adjectives, but in the ing form, right? So the point I was trying to make here is that published is not your verb because it is in between the commas. After the comma, you have bringing, but bringing is also not the verb because it's a modifier. That means this sentence does not have a verb. This sentence does not have a verb. The subject doesn't have a verb, and therefore the sentence is incorrect. So the correct sentence would be, the color purple published in 2000 brought immense recognition. It should be brought and not bringing. Okay. Anyone, any doubt here, students? Is it clear, students? Please type a yes, because I told you a lot of things in one go. I don't know how much if it made sense to you. Okay, great. Now, students, look at this question. Sorry, look at this concept. Repetition, redundancy. This is a commonly found error, students, in the sentence correction questions. For example, what is redundancy, students? Redundancy is when something is unnecessary to the sentence, right? When you have two words conveying same the meaning, so you can obliterate one. For example, I returned back from Goa. Now, returned and back together not required. Either you say I'm back from Goa, or you say I returned from Goa, not I returned back from Goa. It should be I came back from Goa, right? I came back. Okay, correct. That would be correct sentence. So this is this is a common redundancy. Reason and because. Reason and because. So for example, somebody says, the reason I did not do the homework is because I was not well. Now, reason and because together is again redundant, right? Either you say the reason I was not, the reason I didn't come for the class was that I wasn't well, right? Or you say, I did not come for the class because I was not well. But saying that the reason I do not come for the class is because I was not well, so that is redundant. Both of the two students are laughing, both of the two. Incorrect, right? Either you say both the students are laughing or you say the two students are laughing. So that's another kind of error. So you have to watch out for such redundancies, right? You can just Google common redundancies, right? In sentence correction questions, and you would get a list of the words. You can just quickly pass your eyes over that. Even otherwise, I think this is like common knowledge and you would know. Yeah, so This now, students, sometimes we have error in modifiers. Now, I've already told you what modifiers are. So we'll now talk about the kind of the modifier errors that you can get in the question. Just give me a moment, students. Right? So students, for example, the sentence is, she was sitting in the garden when a Scorpio stung her. Now it is very clear that she was sitting in the garden when a Scorpio stung her. So it's the Scorpio who stung the girl, and it was the girl who was sitting in the garden. But sometimes they could give you a sentence like this: sitting in the garden, comma, a scorpion stung her. Sitting in the garden, a scorpion stung her. So it is not clear who was sitting in the garden. In fact, if you read the sentence, it comes across as if the scorpion was sitting in the garden. Right? Sitting in the garden, scorpion stung her. Is it the scorpion which was sitting? No. So the correct way of saying it would be that sitting in the garden, comma, she was stung by a scorpion, right? So the rule is, I mean, after the comma, we should have she and not the scorpion, because who was sitting? She was sitting. So students, please listen to the rule. All of you, please be very attentive. Please focus on what I'm saying. In the first sentence, it is very clear that the subject is right at the beginning, and she was sitting, the girl was sitting. So you have the subject right at the beginning, it is very clear. In this sentence, right, you don't have the subject in the beginning. Sitting in the garden, it just says sitting in the garden. Who was sitting? Who? So therefore, you read the first part and look, it begins with an ing, modifier. Sitting is a modifier here. We are talking about the girl who was sitting. Sitting in the garden. So read the first part. It doesn't have the subject. It doesn't tell you who was sitting. It just tells you the action. Sitting in the garden, somebody was sitting. Who was sitting? Right after the comma, we need the subject. So the rule is that if the subject is not placed right at the beginning, it should be placed right after the comma. Sitting in the garden, comma, she was stung by a scorpion. No, we're not changing the sentence. Somebody says that we're changing the sentence. No, we're not. This sentence is incorrect. This is an incorrect way of stating the sentence. What is the intended meaning? Read it. The student who asked this question, read this sentence and tell me what does the author want to convey. Does the author want to convey that scorpion was sitting in the garden? Or does the author want to convey that the girl sitting in the garden was stung by the scorpion? Tell me, the first or the latter? The first or the latter? Which one? What is the intended meaning of the sentence? Was the girl sitting or was the scorpion sitting? It was the girl sitting, right? And this one keeps the meaning intact, conveys, sorry, not this one. This one conveys the intended meaning of the author. Sitting in the garden, she was stung by the scorpion. And the tense remains the same. Here you have stung in the past, and sitting in any case is a modifier. It's not a verb that tense would apply to it. So don't take sitting as a present continuous tense. Present continuous tense, it would be are sitting, is sitting, was sitting with a helping verb. Sitting here is not a verb that the tense would apply to it. It is just a modifier. The verb here is stung, and the verb remains the same in both the sentences. Okay, so we are not changing the verb. Then students, there is a very important concept of parallelism, right? Now, what is parallelism, students? Parallelism is a concept of English grammar according to which if the sentence is joined or certain fragments of a sentence are joined using a connector, a conjunction, and is a connector as well as and, these are connectors, then you have something before and you have something after, right? And you have something before and you have something after, as well as, or what are these? These are conjunctions, connectors. So the rule is, students, that if in a sentence, the sentence uses certain connectors, the various things that the connector joins, they should be in the same grammatical form. They should be in the same grammatical form. Okay, students? Now here, look at this. Sonia likes to dance, sing, and cook. The three verbs are in the base form. This one says Sonia likes dancing, singing, and cooking. The three are in the what Sonia likes. They have been stated in the ing form. Sonia dancing, singing, and cooking. Right? But look at the third sentence. Sonia likes to dance, sing, and cooking. So this is not parallel because these two things are in the base form and this one is in the ing form. So if you see, it spoils the balance and the rhythm of the sentence. I'd rather say Sonia likes to dance, sing, and cook than saying Sonia likes to dance, sing, and cooking. How unpleasant it is on the how unpleasant it is on the ears also. And it just spoils the balance of the sentence. These three things are logically similar, right? They are logically similar. What is logically similar? If I ask you, what does Sonia like? You would say Sonia likes dance, sing, and cook. Likes to dance, sing, and cook, right? So these are logically same in the sentence. These are the three things which Sonia likes. So there is no reason why we will say it differently. We would express them in the same grammatical form, right? So this is known as parallelism. You have to check for parallelism. Okay. Then students, there are certain parallelism pairs also, like either and or, neither and nor, between and, not only but also, just as so, as and as, more than, upper than, lesser than, greater than. Yes, what are these? These are parallelism pairs, students, right? So parallelism pairs, what is the rule? Number one, the pair should be complete. Either should always be followed by or, neither always by nor. Supposingly you see a sentence where either is followed by and, or either is not followed by anything, by any other connector, right? So it would be incorrect. So to check for it, either or, neither nor, between and, not only but also, just as so, right? And second, the rule is that what comes after either, that should be parallel with what comes after or. I will either eat or drink. I will either eat or drink. Not I will either eat or drinking. Right? So that's why they are known as parallelism pairs. Number one, the pair should be complete. And secondly, what comes after one should be parallel with what comes after other. So this is another rule. Solve this question, students. Very quickly, you've got just 1 minute. Okay. So students here, let me tell you, none of you have given me the answer, and because we have very less time with us, so I'd like to just quickly proceed with this, right? So students, as well as, and here also you have an and actually. Here also you have an and. Yeah, that is, I think, like a typo or something. So and we need, sorry, not a typo. I mean that is like a maybe when I copy pasted that got deleted. So the word we have an and. So students, between is always, like I told you, either is always followed by or, between is always followed by and, right? Between is always followed by and. So we have as well as, and we have an and here and we have an and here, right? So this would be deleted because we have, okay, so students, I'm really sorry. I got confused with some other question. Yeah. So let's redo this question. Yeah, everybody eyes on the screen. So let's redo this question. The between rule doesn't apply here. I mistook this for some other question. Students, please be focused. Erase all that I told you in the past 10-15 seconds. Erase that. Now listen to me. Look at this question afresh. Look at this question afresh, students, eyes on the screen. Do we use as well as, or we use and we have an and here also, right? Do we use and or as well as? Students, we will use and here, because as well as is used with only two things and is used with two or more than two things, right? Okay, as well as is used only with two things and is used with two or more than two things. How many things do we have here? Three. The bylaws of a corporation specify how the directors, whether the existing stockholders, and the third part, as well as duty. So these are the three things that and as well as join. Yes or no? The bylaws of the corporation specify these three things. So we need and not as well as. Down to these three, students, which one is parallel? Now, this is another form of parallelism, students, right? We did that eat and drink example I gave you, right? To eat, to drink, then I give you either or example here. This is a different manifestation of parallelism. This is how the three things that it joins, it has been expressed in question form. How the directors, question. Whether the existing stockholders, question. As well as the duties, this should also be in the question form, right? Which is only in answer option E, what. So your how and whether is parallel with what. How the directors, whether the existing stockholders, and what the duties. So the correct answer here is answer option E. This is another kind of parallelism. If we are stating what the bylaws of a corporation specify, they have to be expressed in the same grammatical form. So the first is expressed in the question form. The second is expressed in the question form. There is no reason why we'll express the third one differently, right? Then students, sometimes there would be some errors. These are known as confusing words actually. Confusing words. So I'll share the list of confusing words with you, and maybe when we have a vocabulary class, we'll cover some of them in the class. Rest you can do on your own. So I'll tell you how to learn the vocabulary words. We'll make use of some root verb methodology and mnemonics. Mnemonics is a brilliant way of learning vocabulary. However, you would learn the words yourself because we don't have enough classes. I will just probably give you a list of them. I mean, we'll do some most important words in the class. Okay. Now, confusing words, the questions that you get in the exam, the errors, it would be like instead of affect, they would say effect. They would mix up adapt and adopt. They will probably use later when you have to say latter. They will use lay when you have to say lie or vice versa, right? Because these words are confusing in terms of the diction, the pronunciation, the spelling, the sound, right? So students tend to get confused among them. So therefore, yeah, I will share it, right? So therefore, students, you need to watch out for such words and you should know the difference. So there's a list of confusing words, right? And you can Google also that list. It's known as, you can just type common confusing words, right? You can probably type common confusing words cat, the words that you get on the cat, right? So I'm sure your question paper, your exam setters or paper setters are also going to refer to Google also for the confusing words. So that's going to be a good resource for you. Okay, wrong comparison, students. Sometimes there could be there could be wrong comparison. Look at this example, everybody. Focus on this. Let me take up the most important one first. All of you, please focus on this, the sentence that I have highlighted. Read the two sentences and tell me in the chat box which one is the correct one, the second one or the first one in the chat box. Yeah, very good. The correct is the second one, right? Because what are we comparing? When we say the geology of Venus is intermediate between Earth and Mars, we are saying here you have your Earth and here you have a Mars, and the geology of Venus is intermediate that. But we are incorrectly comparing the geology of Venus with Earth and Mars when we should be comparing the geology of Venus with the geology of Earth and the geology of Mars, right? So we would say the geology of Venus is intermediate between that of Earth and that of Mars, right? So here that refers to geology, right? That refers to geology. So we are saying, and actually the sentence was the geology of Venus is intermediate between the geology of Earth and geology of Mars. But in English, we avoid repetition, right? And that's the reason why we have pronouns. So that is acting as a pronoun here, right? And what does it stand for? That has been used for geology. So the comparison is made correct in the second sentence where we are saying the geology of Venus is intermediate between that of Earth and that of Mars, means geology of Earth and geology of Mars. So correct comparison. In sentence 2, we are comparing geology with geology. In sentence 1, we are comparing geology with Earth and Mars. Similarly, students, look at this. If I were to say, Radha is taller than any girl in the class, right? So that is wrong, because when I say Radha is taller than any girl in the class, so Radha becomes taller than herself. So what would we say? Radha is taller than any other girl in the class. So please don't forget to add this other or look for the answer option that has this word other. Okay? Any doubt, anybody? Then students, there would be some prepositional errors, right? Prepositional errors like, for example, scientists are excited and interested in the innovations. Now, scientists are excited about and interested in. We use in with interested, but with excited, we don't use in. But if we state it like this, we make the word in common for both, and we are saying scientists are excited in the innovations and interested in the innovations. No, scientists are excited about, right? For example, there could be a sentence which says, I discourage them to do so. I discourage them to do so. No, I discourage them from doing something, from. With the word discourage, we always use from and not to. So you should know the, so I will share this list with you, prepositional errors, probably the next class, the commonly tested errors. So discourage from, encourage to, right? So yeah, So this is another kind of error. So there's a student who asked me a question, ma'am, can we write that of Earth and Mars? No, you cannot write that of Earth and Mars, because in that case, Mars would, in that case, you'll be talking about Mars, the planet, and not about the geology. So it should be that of the Earth and that of the Mars. That would make it parallel also. You have and in between, right? Parallelism marker, that of Earth and that of Mars. And also, if you say just Mars, it would be planet and not. So that would not refer, not that you keep this that common. No, that of Earth and Mars, no. That of Earth and that of Mars, always. Then students, conjunctions. So conjunctions have to be correct, that you know. You should know where to use or when you're giving an alternative, and you should know where to use and. Although as a conjunction, although it's a contrast word, it can only be used in the starting of the sentence. And in the middle of the sentence, you use but. Although in the starting of the sentence and but in the middle of the sentence, right? Then although and yet together are redundant. Although and but together are redundant. So if there's a contrast in the sentence, you just need one word to convey that contrast, right? You just need one word to convey that contrast. Then students, there should be correct usage of nouns. For example, you say, he ran an amazing 10 miles race. So this is incorrect. 10, that's not the name. So you are trying to give a name to the race here, right? You're trying to give a name to the race. But the race is not 10 miles. 10 miles is not the name of the race. But if you put a hyphen in between, it would be like a name for the race. He ran an amazing 10-mile race, 10-mile race, right? Similarly, a 5-foot room, you need to place that dash in between. Okay, then in that case, it becomes a word, a name. Then students, an understanding of, there could be such errors like they played really good. No, they played real good. Now, real good, many of you will mark correct because that's American English, but that's incorrect. It should be they played really well, not real good, really well. Okay. So you should know such differences. Participles is not that important for you all. The only way participles are used or modifiers, I already told you that. Okay. So you won't get this. Yeah, one more thing, students. Please listen to me. Students, you do not give examples using like and as. You do not give examples using like and as. You use for example, such as, right? For example, such as, or for instance, to give example. Okay, you don't use like to give examples. Okay, please remember this. This is a commonly made error. And then students, I'll just probably cover this, the last tool I'll cover for today, I guess. The difference between like and as. Like is used with nouns. Like apple, oranges are also expensive. You won't say as apples, oranges are also expensive. Like apples, oranges are also expensive. So like is used with nouns and things, students. Like is used with nouns, right? And as is used with actions. It says connecting clause and all of that. You just remember it is used with actions. This will simplify it for you. So look at this. Look at this, everybody. Look at this sentence. Tarun cooks. What are we comparing Tarun with? His father. Now, his father is a noun. His father is a noun, right? Not a verb. So we will use like. But when we say Tarun cooks as his father does. You're not comparing Tarun with father. You're comparing the cooking of Tarun with the cooking of father. So you're comparing verb with verb. And when we compare verbs or actions, we will use as and not noun. All of you and not like. Please read this again. You have 1 minute with you. If you have any queries to this,
Recording in progress.
Similarly here, Vipin and Nitin, like their father, are extremely short, not as their father. Right? Arun sleeps like a baby. No. Arun sleeps. You're using a verb. Arun sleeps as. 1 second. No. This is fine. This is fine. Acha, here they're trying to tell you some other rule, I guess. An easy way to differentiate between like and as, simply remember to use like when no verb follows. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Arun sleeps like a baby is correct, but Arun sleeps like a baby does. So if this is followed by verb, students, if this is followed by verb, right? In that case, you will say as. But when this is not there, like in this case, then it would be Arun sleeps like a baby. Arun sleeps like as a baby does. Arun sleeps like a baby. Arun sleeps as the baby does. Okay. So verbs compared with using as and nouns compared using like. Okay. So any other questions, query you have, students? We have last 2 minutes and we are almost done with this document. They're just, yeah, then we come to the strategy, which of course I'll tell you tomorrow. And these are the example questions that we'll do tomorrow. Okay, students, that's all from my side. I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, please be on time so that we don't waste the crucial few minutes. And also, you can revise the rules. I'll send across the document. I'll mail it to the person, I've been approached for the classes, somebody who approached me for the classes. I'll forward it to him and he would send it to you. Okay. Fine, students. Bye-bye. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow.